There's a vault beneath the Palais de Justice in Paris, guarded by armed officers, containing 6,000 pages that could answer every question about Princess Diana's death. The French government won't let anyone see them until 2082. That's nearly 60 years from now. Everyone involved will be long gone. The question nobody's answering is simple. What are they hiding? Hit that subscribe button for Royal Family Daily, because we're about to uncover something they desperately want buried. Deep in the basement archives of Paris's most secure courthouse sits a dossier unlike any other. It's protected under Article L213-2 of France's Heritage Code, a rule that seals certain national archives for at least 75 years. The file was completed in 2007, which means it stays hidden until 2082 at the earliest. But here's where it gets worse. French authorities can extend that restriction indefinitely. This evidence might never see daylight. A source who managed to view part of the dossier didn't mince words. This secrecy stinks of a cover-up and conspiracy at the highest level. When journalists requested access, they were flatly refused. No exceptions. No access for 75 years minimum. So, what's actually inside this fortress of secrets? 30 police officers worked for 18 months straight, compiling evidence that fills thousands of pages. There are roughly 200 witness statements from people who saw what happened that night in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. There are toxicology reports on Henri Paul, the driver who died in the crash. There are crash scene photographs that the public has never seen. And here's the kicker. These documents are the only admissible version in any future court proceedings. Photocopies were handed over to the British investigation, but the originals remain locked away in Paris. If you want to know what happens next, smash that like button. In 2007, just weeks before the £17 million British inquest into Diana's death was set to begin, French authorities made a stunning announcement. The entire 6,000-page file had vanished. Gone. A lawyer representing one of the paparazzi went to the court, asking to review it, and was told it wasn't there. He called it extraordinary, especially considering this was the death of the most famous woman in the world. The files were eventually located, but the timing raised eyebrows everywhere. And it wasn't the first time evidence went missing. In 2006, photographs showing Diana and Dodi at the crash scene also disappeared without explanation. Now, let's talk about why so many people think this wasn't just a tragic accident. Mohammed Al-Fayed, Dodi's father, spent years claiming that MI6 and members of the royal family orchestrated the crash. His theory? Diana was pregnant with Dodi's child, and the establishment couldn't stomach the idea of the mother of the future king marrying a Muslim. Al-Fayed alleged that Henri Paul was actually an MI6 informant. Some reports suggest a strobe light was used in the tunnel to blind the driver. Then, there's the white Fiat Uno that witnesses saw near the crash site, a car that was never identified and seemingly vanished. Subscribe to Royal Family Daily because we cover the stories the mainstream media won't touch. The official conclusion came in 2008. The verdict was unlawful killing due to gross negligence by the paparazzi and by Henri Paul, who had 3 times the legal alcohol limit in his system. Case closed. But the questions never stopped. Why did it take over 90 minutes to get Diana to a hospital only 3.5 miles away? Why weren't they wearing seatbelts when the bodyguard who survived was the only one buckled in? Operation Paget spent over £12 million investigating every conspiracy theory and concluded it was an accident. But the suspicion didn't go away. As we approach 2027, the 30th anniversary of Diana's death, legal sources are warning that sealing the documents until everyone involved is gone only deepens the sense that the full truth is being pushed out of reach. Surveys show that 38% of Britons don't believe Diana's death was an accident. 33% believe it was an assassination. Those are millions of people who think they've been lied to for decades. According to legal sources, these files contain what they call the definitive truth about Diana's death, not speculation, the truth. But French bureaucracy means that truth stays buried while the world is left guessing. And the longer it stays hidden, the worse it looks. If this was really just a drunk driver and some reckless paparazzi, why lock it away for 75 years? What could possibly be so sensitive that it needs to be kept from the public until everyone who remembers that night is dead? Turn on notifications for Royal Family Daily, because we'll be here when more details emerge. So here's what we know. A massive investigation completed nearly 2 decades ago supposedly holds all the answers. Evidence disappeared at convenient times. Files were lost and then found. The documents are now sealed in a guarded basement until 2082. Maybe longer, maybe forever. The official story says accident. Millions say cover-up. And the French government says you'll have to wait until you're either very old or very dead to find out the truth. Drop your theories in the comments and subscribe to Royal Family Daily, because we're not stopping until we uncover every buried secret the royals don't want you to know. The truth about Princess Diana might be locked in that vault, but the questions aren't going anywhere.